Mr. Mazhar, thank you so much for being with us from London. As you see now, the U.S. is not really happy now with al-Shaabi, but at the same time in Iraq, they're like trying to really keep them stay. Especially based on some drafts in Iraq. So, what other reaction that will be in future concerning this topic?
There are a few things. First of all, what the United States wants. The United States wants the Iraqi government to stop financing and propping up the Hashd-Shaabi. Hashd-Shaabi, in the eyes of the United States, is at best a radical group and at worst an active terror group. Therefore, it cannot be friends with Iraq, supply Iraq with weapons and F-16 equipment, while the Iraqi government itself is financing those. The main American demand was rather modest in that regard, is they're requesting the administration wants the Iraqi government to stop financing those. Many of those radicals on Hashd-Shaabi are already on the payroll of the Iraqi Ministry of Defense, some on the payroll of the several Iraqi government entities, and some even ironically are on the payroll of like places like Ministry of Education of Iraq. So this mess being financed by Iraqi petrodollar is not acceptable, definitely not acceptable by the United States, and very threatening to the Iraqi people themselves. What we can tell right now is that the Iraqi government has ignored all requests or demands from the United States to stop financing the Hashid-Shaabi. In addition, the Hashid-Shaabi group, the Iraqi government, to be honest, tried to, stick, stick, basically stick lipstick on a pig when it comes to that by sending the Hashid-Shaabi militants to other groups, to other government entities, so they disguise as government employees, public servants. This is not going to fly. Now, what will happen next? I think if this persists, eventually there could be some serious problems for the Iraqi government itself. There could be some sanctions because Hashd-Shaabi has wreaked havoc and engaged in jihadi activities across the region, from Syria, with a serious significant threat to Jordan, and from northern Iraq to places where they also engaged ISIS and so forth. So, and there's a very genuine threat of them spreading to Lebanon and elsewhere. So we're talking about a very alarming group. If the Iraqi government insists on sustain its support for such a group, it will result in economic sanctions. And eventually, I wouldn't be surprised if the Hashd-Shaabi would be designated as a terror group by the United States.
Mr. Mazhar, what do you think specifically the U.S. is not really happy? Is it financial problems or supports or technicals? Because some of them have been selected as the most extremist by Iranian government.
Well, the problem is Hashd-Shaabi has engaged in ethnic cleansing against Sunni Arabs in Iraq. This is documented. Some notorious names like Abu Israel and other people, they've been wreaking havoc, uh, playing pokemon for ethnic minorities in Iraq, like the Christians, like the Yazidis. Also, they are not a safe threat to the large chunk of northern Iraq, which is Kurdistan, the Kurdish people who, in government and practice have been very peaceful. They don't deserve to be threatened by such a militant group. This is a militant group that has actively been engaged in also literally ethnic cleansing of Arab and Sunnis in Iraq, and sorry, in not only Iraq, in Syria. And they've been involved in the Syrian war, and they have connections to very, very, aggressive terror groups in the region like Hezbollah and Hamas. This is no secret. So this is a literally a terrorist group. And the fact that the Iraqi government is supporting it is only going to cost the Iraqi government dearly. It's not going to cost the United States. It's not going to. Israel will not be, unable from taking action against those. There has been a lot of hits against those, and I can assure those listening and watching that eventually, either the Iraqi government will bring those people to justice and bring law and order to al-Shaabi, or the U.S. and Israel will definitely bring justice and law and order to Iraq. Though I suspect, and I have my reasons to believe, that there will be military actions, serious military actions in the foreseen future, the next few months, against al-Shaabi inside Iraq, possibly carried out by both the United States and Israel.
As even Khas Ali, as the official person in Iraq, he says like this is related to Iraq and instead of the U.S. interferes in this. So, do you believe that the U.S. has that right to interfere with this topic, with this situation, or do you think he's not that legitimate to do anything concerning them inside Iraq?
Well, if you're talking about right, Iran gets involved inside Iraq. Iran gets involved from every government issue there is in Iraq, from making up committees of the Iraqi parliament, forming the Iraqi government, who comes prime minister, down to very, very, very aggressive actions like assassinations, killing certain political leaders, ethnic leaders. So Iran has been wreaking havoc across Iraq, and its tool has been al-Shaabi. And this al-Shaabi is a threat to the region, threat to the Iraqi people, and definitely threat to U.S. interest. This is a game of subscription. If the world right now, the economy is definitely led by one superpower so far. No matter how many other superpowers try, the United States, is the source of current, growth across the world. And if that anyone who stands against those values of the United States and chooses to threaten U.S. interests in this such a vital region will definitely have to face the consequences. One of those is the United States might simply stop supplying the Iraqi government with the spare parts and weapons. And the very expensive Iraqi F-16 squadron would turn into just junkyard material without spare parts. So you cannot have your cake and eat it too. The Iraqi government wants to have Western standards when it comes to finance and the military and connection and flights and trips to Europe and the West, and at the same time wants to be in bed with Iraq and al-Shaabi. You can't get both. You have to choose.
As we know that Hajdi Shabi and its militant officials, they have powers inside Iraqi government, and some of them have been attributed with terrorists. So those who have been selected as terrorists by the U.S., do you think that really is going to be inclusive for everyone inside Hajdi Shabi, or only for those that have been selected by the American government?
Well, those are two different aspects. You can, according to the way U.S. law and U.S. policy functions, you can designate certain people as terrorists or a whole group as terrorists. So having a certain group with terrorists in it doesn't automatically label the entire group as terrorists, a terrorist group or terror group. But either way, this is a first step designating those people as terrorists. This is very problematic for the Iraqi government because many of those people are connected within the Iraqi government. They do business worth billions and millions of dollars with Iraqi officials. They are the state. They are the establishment in Iraq, the al-Shaabi. So once some of those people are fully designated as terrorists, they can fly around the world, and anyone who deals with them who carries out any transaction, money transfers, will automatically suffer. And when I say anyone, literally we mean the Iraqi government itself at the moment, because the Iraqi government is involved with them. Yes, I think they will eventually be designated as a terror organization. And let me share something with your audience here. The upcoming step in 2016 is the designation of terror groups in the Middle East. The Muslim Brotherhood will be designated as a terror group. al-Shaabi will definitely be designated as a terror group, and many others who have been involved in this nasty business over the past decades. So there's definitely a new sheriff in town with the Trump administration, and the age of tolerance for
So, do you
Iran.
think they will be designated by the American government? Do you mean in 2026?
It's in the pipes. It's in the pipes. Not only al-Shaabi, it's being worked on, if you know what I mean. And it's not only al-Shaabi, a lot of other, mainly the Muslim Brotherhood and others. Let me be clear. There has been a past American policy that started with George W. Bush. The American policy at that time was tolerance towards Iran in the concept of, in the pretext of a radical Shiite state is better than insane radical Al-Qaeda group. Well, that policy has proved to be very wrong, and at least with this administration, the policy towards those group is zero tolerance, and soon you will see more action towards that. Towards the end of the year, the action will begin, and in 2016, and I can authoritatively confirm that this will be escalated into full-blown designation of those and calling out those terrorists.
Sudani, in the last call with Marco Rubio, the American Foreign Department, he said like the policy of the al-Shaabi is for peaceful purposes. So, do you think the conflicts between the American government and Iraqi government, how it can really solve this problem?
Well, Mr. Sudani cannot talk his way out of this. In the eyes of the American government, the actions of al-Shaabi are radical and terrorist. They have not been keeping the peace. Keeping the peace. Yeah, keeping the peace. Yeah, they have not been keeping the peace. They have been wreaking havoc. Evidence of that is what they did when they attacked Sunni area. Everyone saw that very disturbing video of Abu Israel, the villain from al-Shaabi, Abu Israel, slicing a dead man, roasting him over fire, and then slicing him with a sword. These are radical group. We've seen videos of them running a 10-year-old child under a tank just because he's Sunni Arab in a Sunni Arab area. We've seen another video of them shooting at what could have been a 12-year-old child without asking questions. These are very bad, folks, and there's no way you can talk it out with the American government. The Americans realize they are Iran's puppet, Iran's tool, Iran's dagger in the back of Iraq and the region. Let me read my lips. Those in the Iraqi intelligence and elsewhere who might be watching, read my lips. The al-Shaabi will be annihilated by either your willing cooperation or by force. America is going to get that terror group killed, annihilated, finished. You choose the way it's going to go out, with a bang or with glory.
If the American pressures will not be obeyed and is going to be passed by Iraqi parliament, do you think America will make sanction on Iraq, or what does he do, in your opinion?
There will be sanctions already being considered and being spoken about. It's not clear what the president and the cabinet is thinking exactly about punishment, but one thing is certain: there will be measures. The Sudani government, and I can confirm, I have my sources who confirm that they think that they can talk their way out of it. They said the more they negotiate it, the more they delay it, it's going to eventually go away. One of them, and I can't say who, he said something very funny. He said, Trump is not gonna be around for 3 years. All we need to do is drag this for 3 years. It's not gonna happen. You cannot, Mr. Sudani, you will not be able to drag this for more than possibly a few months. Few months. And there will be action against them. There's another issue at hand, which this failure to deal with al-Shaabi proves that the Iraqi government itself is fragile. The Iraqi government is, held hostage by the Iranians, and therefore the Iraqi government could lose U.S. support, and just losing U.S. support is enough for the Iraqi government to collapse. I wouldn't bet on Sudan's government surviving for too long if he keeps it up this way.
Mr. Mazhar Zahran, thank you so much for being with us from London.